जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲು
एक्सप्रेस পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন. कृपया ध्यान दियो.
You see, some performances can confuse Google as well. If you go to Google, do it after the show, not now. If you go to Google and try to find out the meaning of the name Shardul, it will say lion and tiger. The fact is that he rode so well to take KKR to a massive score of 204. We've had our own chart show before this show started. We had a lot of chart. Time for a different kind of chat show. Cricbuzz live it is. Harsha Bhogle, Bhattacharjya in the house. Mr. Bhogle is still busy trying to order more dinner for...
No, I'm Googling Shardul. Because I'm on the program, so I can Google, right? You say Google afterwards, but I'm on the program, so I can Google.
Sir, trust me, sir.
But also say Shardul is a baby boy name.
Sir, he's a darling of Kolkata, sir. They will have babies named Shardul after tonight. Not after tonight, but yeah, 9 or 10 months later. Shardul Thakur, what an innings, 89 for 5.
That's an interesting comeback line, huh?
89 for 5 at one stage, and it was up to Rinku Singh and Shardul Thakur, who stitched together a 103-run partnership. Who would have thought? Nobody did. And this is the kind of rearguard action that you expect from a team that seems down in the dumps. 204 for 7. Did our experts expect it? I'll go to Harsha first.
No chance. It's his...
Oh, yes, sir. Sir, build up.
Yeah, Kolkata from 89 for 5 in the 12th over. Yeah. They have gone to 200.
You know,
Joy, just summon all your emotions. Let your passions loose.
I just want to say that Karan Sharma over, that's the 12th over, 7 runs, 2 wickets down, and you think that Kolkata is on the ropes. And then after that, from the 13th to the 20th, there's only 1 over in between, the 16th with David Willey bowls, which is less than 10 runs. They absolutely go berserk after that, and Shardul leads it. And that's the one thing you look at. 12.2 between 11 and 15. Remember, till the 12th, it's literally 15 between after that, you know. And
you know, we've all seen pictures of Shardul Thakur taking a train. I suppose in his life, he would have taken a lot of those trains that are slow, church gates se Dadar tak, and then they pick up pace. That's exactly what happened in this innings. He surprised all of us, and what clean hitting it was.
That 13th over that Joy mentions produced 19. That was that Akashdeep over where Shardul Thakur has announced himself. But you know, Shardul, he does these things. He comes in as a third, fourth seamer and comes in and he'll just nick the outside of Joe Root's off stump. Or he'll go up to Brisbane and next thing you know, Shardul is 67, 68 in Brisbane. You see in such a short career, how many times he's done these things. And they cannot be coincidence. I remember Ravichandran Ashwin telling me, I've yet to meet someone with that kind of self-confidence. I mean, not yet to meet, but among the people he'd met, just the kind of self-confidence that he has. That he just believes he can. And, I mean, 68 of 29, he's done his chances of playing that role in the Indian team no harm.
54 of those runs came in 4s and 6s. Pure brute force and just clarity of thought in that innings. Clearly, KKR needed some divine intervention. Then it was up to Lord Shardul Thakur, just came to the party.
Robi Thakur, Shardul Thakur.
Correct.
Thakur, as you said, Thakur Badi is going to be a big thing. Thakur Badi is a place where, you know, Bengalis go on Rabindranath's birthday and, you know, it's a tourist attraction. But now you could have another Thakur Badi.
Thakur Dwar.
Thakur got this.
Correct. That's where I lived for a long time.
Thakur Dwar. What are you doing here? You should be batting there.
क्या करें सर, करना पड़ता है काम के लिए. हाँ,
Thakur Gaur in a Bengali house is actually also the prayer room, the Thakur Gaur.
Oh, okay.
You know, you go and pray there. So yeah, absolutely. And I think the big thing about for me is the fact that at a situation where they had them under pressure, they had them in the ropes, you know, 93 for 5, RCB could not finish off the game.
Yes.
So it was just as much as Shardul and Rinku taking them on, but it was also them releasing. And there's some troubling things out here because if you look at it, Karan Sharma bowled beautifully, got those 2 wickets, but he didn't finish his quota. Okay.
Yes.
Shahbaz Ahmed bowls 1 over for 6. Akashdeep goes for 2 for 30. So it's interesting. Perhaps they'll look at it and say that they didn't quite use their spinners as much as they could have, and they couldn't use them as well as they did.
Yes, perhaps they took their foot off the pedal. But it takes 2 to tango. You need a partner at the other end. And Rinku Singh played that role so well. You've often spoken about the importance of a non-striker in life. And how good was Rinku?
And he played the non-striker for a while, and then after a while he said, "Hum bhi hain."
हम भी है team में.
Hum bhi hain. And there's something about Rinku Singh, when he does well, everyone starts to smile. There's some players like that. When Rinku starts to do well, everyone's like, Rinku Singh.
So because Rinku means sweet. I googled both. Yeah.
अच्छा, वो भी Google
Trust
करो.
me, sir. थोड़ा बहुत.
You know, for so many years, all he did was come on as a sub and field in the deep, and he would get 3 balls, 4 balls somewhere. I remember doing a post match with him last year. He said, "Sir, अभी पहली बार तो मिले हैं इतने ball खेलने." But there's something very, very cute about Rinku Singh. And another great story of how the IPL has lifted families like Rinku's.
But does he grow in reputation when he puts on shows like these? Typically, when one looks at the KKR score, Rinku Singh is not the first name, Joy, that would come to your mind. But with shows like these, he's asking people to talk about him a little more. We certainly will on Cricbuzz Live the hereafter.
You definitely will hear about him. And I was just thinking, he's probably the second most well-known Rinku. Because the most famous Rinku in Bengal is Rinku, the better known as Sharmila Thakur.
That is different league, huh? No. Yeah. That is thoda whole life fanboy. So
whole life fanboy. But yeah, Sharmila Thakur first, second most well-known. But that's the thing. What he did really well was, you notice at one time he was 23 of 23 balls.
Yes.
Because all he was doing was giving the strike. And I think he played it really intelligently. He only unleashed it in the last 2-3 overs and took his time to get there. And I think that's important because he knew at the rate they were going, he could afford to just give the strike. Shardul needed strike at that point in time. And if you look at what we've been seeing in the last 2-3 matches, there are a lot of times people like Rituraj who were really in form didn't get enough of the strike.
Yeah.
And in fact, I remember saying on set that perhaps when you're a big batsman, you need to be a little selfish when you're in that kind of form. And I think here it was perfect. Shardul not only was there, he took strike as well. He took the majority of strike.
The only possible problem when the KKR management looks at this scorecard is, Harsha, that they'll now be tempted to say, listen, let's change the batting order again. Let's send Shardul up. Caution against that?
He's played this role well, but that doesn't mean he can go and play some other role because he's played this role really well. Let him play this role. He talked about the strike. I was just looking at number. When Shardul came into bat, Rinku had played 12 balls. When Shardul gets out, he's played, at the peak of that partnership, he's only played another 15 balls. Whereas Shardul has played 27, 28 balls. So he's done that well. I think Rinku can move up. Okay. If they need a replacement for Mandeep and they want Jagadisan to come in, they want that middle order, I think Rinku can go up to 4-5. And I mean, he batted 5 today. He could go up to 4. I think Andre Russell, Shardul, Thakur, that's a good place for them. But that's the other thing. How much did Andre Russell make today? And how much did we talk about him before the game started?
His score was like a Roshagulla. First ball. Was a shot on?
And how much did we talk? You look at a KKR scorecard, Joy, and you say KKR made 204. What is the first thing that you think about? That Andre Russell went big at the end.
Or Sunil Narayan has been asked to open and had one of his days. Yeah,
a different kind of KKR scorecard. But these days on Twitter, you see this new meme. It says, small role, big impact. Rinku Singh clearly fits that meme today. But it was all started by a man whose name is music to our ears. Rahmanullah Gurbaz.
What a play. Good innings. Because I was, as we said during the combox, I was worried he was becoming a power play slogger. I think it's a really good innings. You look at that striker and say 130, but look what is happening around him. There were 4 single-digit scores around him. If you look at that scorecard, there was Venkatesh Iyer 3, Mandeep Singh 0, Nitish Rana 1, Andre Russell 0. So he had to hold the innings together. If you're holding an innings that's falling like a house of cards and striking at 130, that is still very well. If he's striking at 130 when the score is 150 for 2, then you can complain about that. I thought it was a fabulous innings. I thought he showed a lot of responsibility. And I've got a lot of time for him, and you can see why today.
All of 21 years of age, the fearlessness of youth clearly showing in his approach while wickets were falling at the other end. But a lot of these batsmen seem to want to become brand ambassadors of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. What is with the sweep shot? So many of them.
It's just on now. The point of it is that, why were we upset about it before? Because it's unorthodox. And people who say they don't practice it, it's a risky shot. It's not that risky a shot because they practice it all the time now. If you go to today, you go to any of the nets, you'll see somebody practicing a reverse regularly. And regularly, 10, 15, 20 balls. So the shot is on. The question is your timing, when you want to use it against a spinner. Do you want to use it first up, immediately? Those are the kind of issues about the shot. I don't fundamentally have problems with the shot because the game has changed as we know it. people like Surya and people like AB have changed the game, even David Warner. But the question is, perhaps is it a risky shot at the point at which it was played today? And I think that was the problem.
Let's take a look at the RCB bowling card. Lots of options used. Perhaps spinners not used as well as they should have been. Shahbaz Ahmed bowling only one. The best economy, in fact, the second best. David Willey got a couple of wickets with his left arm seam in the power play. Harshal Patel, very expensive today. So was Michael Bracewell. But we've got to talk about Mohammad Siraj. These numbers don't tell you how well he bowled.
He bowls well with the new ball. I think the problem at the moment is Willie bowls well with the new ball. Siraj bowls well with the new ball. They've got to have Harshal at the back. If you look at the last 4 overs, Harshal Patel 30 of 2 overs and Mohammad Siraj 27 of 2. That is going to be the problem for RCB. If they don't pull this game out, with their batting lineup, they should back themselves to pull this game out. But if they don't, they're already starting to think, hang on, who's going to bowl at the death for me? Reece Topley was their candidate to bowl at the death. He's gone. He's out of the tournament. I thought I heard Sanjay Bangar say he's out of the tournament or something. And so who's going to be their death bowler going ahead from now? Josh Hazelwood, you don't know when he's going to come back.
So it is a worrying sign because Virat and Faf are not going to win you all 14 games.
Maybe Hasaranga bowls deep. They'll have to work that out. Maybe Hasaranga bowls deep.
He will come in as well. But just the way Siraj was bowling in the power play, you reckon he's been told by the captain, just do what you want, because he just backed himself to go for it, just couldn't control the swing. Gave away a few extras.
That's what. Look, the number of extras also I think is a huge
23, 10 of which were wides, 3 no balls.
23 extras and the no balls. See, no balls may tell you one other story. Was there due? Because they were clearly gripping issues. But I didn't seem to see that much due in the outfield when they were slipping and sliding.
Didn't see too many people wiping the ball.
Yeah, I didn't see too many people wiping the ball.
Like they did a couple of nights ago.
So then it's a control issue. And you have to ask yourself, I mean, I felt they were not in control. And look, I think Siraj's brief is to go and take wickets up front. That is his brief. But sometimes somebody like a Magra will do only so much to take a wicket. I felt sometimes with the swing he was trying to do too much. And it happens. He's a young cricketer. He's doing very well. And he's somebody who's very important for India. So he'll bowl the occasional beauty. He'll bowl those 2-3 Jaffas. But he'll also give you some balls where he'll stray here and there and give the batsman opportunities.
Very often in our careers, we are taught keep it simple. David Willey did that really well today.
Yeah, and everyone plays. I mean, you think of David Willey and you think the ball swinging into the right-hander. Yeah. And he got both wickets with the ball that didn't swing, and he's got that other one too. 4 overs, 2 for 16. So now take those 16 out. You got 188 runs that came from 16 overs.
Yeah.
It's amazing. 4 overs, 2 for 16 in a 204 chase. And like Michael Bracewell, another guy who can go and hit it big. This RCB team has a lot of firepower. But Willie's done his chances no harm. Can you imagine at the start of the season with both these teams, captaincy is furthest from Nitish Rana's mind. And David Willey thinking, will I get a game somewhere? Because there's Hazelwood and there's Topley. When he gets a game, what does he do? He says, should have been me all along. And that's what good players do. Should have been me all along.
What was that line? Talent meets
opportunity.
Yes, that's what happens at the IPL. And David Willey has certainly done his case. A lot of good for the remaining games. RCB need another Faf plus Virat show to chase down a total like this. Virat loves the Eden Gardens. He's what they call the chase master. And they've got to be the engine room, isn't it, for this chase? Nowhere else. You've got to look at those two right up top.
Absolutely. Also, I'm expecting that at some point Karan Sharma walks away perhaps and Mahipal Romrod comes in place. At least they'll bring in one batsman definitely as an impact player.
So maybe let Siraj go.
Maybe Siraj as well. Probably Karan Sharma is a better bat. Yeah. It'll be interesting who they go with.
Anuj Rawat as well as an option.
Anuj Rawat is an option. Yes, definitely.
So one of those three they'll...
Yeah. But they've got Maxwell. Dinesh Karthik batted higher up, although not too many...
What about Bracewell?
Bracewell
is there. Shardul Thakur. Whatever he touches turns to gold. So Bracewell went through a phase where he turns up in Test match cricket and he changes the game. He turns up in T20 and he says, "This is me." Everything he did turned to gold. And Dooley keeps telling me he's not a spinner who bats, but a top order batter who New Zealand are using down the order. So they're not short on firepower now. RCB. You've got Faf Virat, Maxwell, Bracewell, Willey, Karthik, Shahbaz. So they've got 7 people who can mount this run chase. So they're not short of batting.
Can these pitches confuse commentators? Because in the first half, they might have said, oh, 2-pace pitch and so on. And then the runs started coming. And suddenly the commentator has to sort of change his or her tune a little bit.
Sledging me?
Not you, sir. You are here. Sir, you are here.
Okay. I suddenly thought, this guy's simple fellow. He's not even looking at me, he's looking somewhere else, but actually he's sledging someone here.
You respond to what's happening, right? It's unscripted drama, as you
But it's
often
okay,
say.
enough people sledge me anyway, so it doesn't
I would never dare to, sir. No, but what's this pitch like? Because I'm confused. I don't know what it's like.
Pitch reports at 195 though, John.
195. The pitch report said that there were runs. Clearly, Shardul was timing the ball. Clearly, he had no problems timing the ball. The one thing I would say though is that there were times when the slower bowlers came on, it looked not that easy to hit. Remember, Kolkata has a surfeit of really good slower bowlers. You have Varun Chakravarti, you have Sunil Narayan. You might even get young Suyash in now, who Nitish Rana was talking.
Could bowl as well a bit.
Yeah, Nitish Rana will definitely bowl. Left-handers, he'll definitely bowl. So I think there's something there. It'll be interesting because Tim Saudi will swing it. There is swinging today. Umesh Yadav will swing it early. It'll be very interesting to see.
Vaibhav Arora could come in.
You don't think there's a heist here, is there? You think KKR can pull off a heist?
I think KKR could win big if they make early breakthroughs.
Suyash Sharma is a leggy.
Suyash Sharma is a leggy.
Suyash Sharma leggy.
Again, no first class. Very interesting. We love.
But the thing is, with their bowling options, they can throw him in and say, okay, you bowl one over. If it comes
Exactly.
off, it comes off.
Works, it doesn't.
But otherwise, we've got enough bowling options there anyway.
Yeah.
If Russell is bowling, they've got enough bowling options.
That's a big if, sir.
Yeah.
We never know if.
But even without, look at Southee, Umesh, Varun, Thakur, Sunil Narayan. There's already 5 there. Maybe
Plus
Nitish Rana
Venkatesh,
can.
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. He's
Rana,
not bowling
Russell,
him. Nitish Rana can bowl a bit. Russell, and then they can throw this guy in and say, okay, you bowl one over. If it comes good, we'll give you another. And
Right. So Nitish Rana, as a captain, has the cushion of 200 plus runs. He can afford to experiment a little bit, maybe be a bit braver than he would have otherwise. Would you say Sunil Narayan maybe 2 overs in the power play? Would you open with him? Would you try something like that?
I would go to Sunil Narayan and ask him, do you want to bowl in the power play? I would not force him to bowl in the power play. But given that his record against each of the top 3 batters is so good, whether it's Faf, Virat or Maxwell, his record is so good, it might not be a bad idea to just give him, both are right-handers, so you choose an end with where the leg side is to the longer boundary and try out an over in the power play. Definitely. If he gets one of them out, that's enough.
Virat versus spin.
No, I would definitely. Sunil Narayan or Varun Chakravarti, one of those two should be
In the power play.
100%. You get one of those 2 wickets, the game is over.
And Faf these
Not
days
over,
goes
but
for
it's
it.
a very difficult one.
Faf these days goes for it, so he might take a chance.
I suppose the RCB middle order will get tested today. It can't always be Faf and Virat Kohli winning your matches. 205 needed for KKR, for RCB to win their second consecutive game. KKR will feel good having this kind of score in their pocket. Quick prediction. Tukka time, sir. Not a prediction, it's a Tukka.
Achha, but I like the fact that you very carefully underplayed the fact that you got the score.
He got it, absolutely. How much were you? 201?
The Tukka, sir.
Well done.
Tukka.
Well done. Well done.
Debutant कभी-कभी लग जाता है सर गलती से.
आप डेब्यूटेंट नहीं हो, बहुत साल से इंडस्ट्री में डेब्यूटेंट नहीं हो.
फिर भी सर
Well done.
कभी-कभी लग जाता है.
Well done. हो जाता है. हाँ बोल लो. Just imagine your page 3 and say,
You see, I spend a lot of time.
I've got this problem. I always get it right, and the fans are chasing me. One of those typical page 3 paid for lines.
Cut, copy, paste. चिपका दो. ठीक है. Power play prediction sir.
70.
For?
अरे ये भी
Yeah,
सर कर देते ना सर.
70 for 1.
74. Okay.
55 for 2.
I'm going to say 80 for 2.
Low. Wow.
हो जाए सर. Match on. Let's do it for RCB. And for KKR, ठीक है यार, fans will enjoy. Good for.
Quick back foot. Let's do it for RCB. Oh, wait a minute.
Sir,
I've got 2 teams.
रहने चाहिए. There are fans of 8 other teams watching, so it should be fun. Whatever happens, regardless of whatever happens, we'll be back with Cricbuzz Combox at the 10 over mark.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत लखनऊ जंक्शन
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ ಚೆನ್ನೈ
Hyderabad Express Boloboti Station Netaji Bhavan. कृपया ध्यान दो